Hi folks, it's Wobbly Cat here, and talking about surveying. If you were looking at a planet from above or a moon, right, when you've surveyed it, then when you've done the R bit, then all of those resources will show up on the planet, but they'll also show up here, right? So this is saying these are the 6 resources that we've got. You don't know what the traits are yet, and you need to look for those on the planet itself, right? So where the resources are laid out, we're not really worried about that when we're doing a survey. We're just trying to cover as much of the planet as possible, and there is some information that will become more pertinent when you're on the planet, right? So we are on the planet, so let's just get back there. So when you want to survey, bring up the scanner. That's the first thing you'll do. What I'm going to tell you to do before you bring up the scanner, because there's a risk to surveying, right? So quit out of the scanner, bring up your weapon, right? Whatever weapon you've got. I'm only a level 4, right? So it's not a great weapon, right? But bring up your weapon and then press F. Because when you have to scan, those are the 3 things you, well, plus the traits, four different things you're looking for, right? The fauna, the flora, the resources, right? The fauna, the animals, some of them are pretty dangerous and will attack you. And you have to get really close to them. It doesn't really tell you that in the help, right? You've got to get close enough so that when you press the scan button, which on a PC is E, when you press E, then you can scan the animal, right? And to do that, you've got to be pretty close. There's one up there. It's not even in my range, right? Same with flora, right? So flora's not dangerous. But I'm pressing E and nothing's happened. Now you've got to be close enough, right? So you've got to get right close. There you go. As soon as you see it going green around the edges, then when you press E, you've scanned it, right? So I'm just going to stay away from Dangerous Man at the moment because I want to just carry on talking to you about scanning, right? So get close enough and then it goes green. There you go, it goes green, and then you can scan it, right? Who's that? Oh, Vasco. Okay, fair enough. There you go, blue, solid blue, then he scanned it, right? Blue, right? Now when you do enough of these, at the moment 13% probably means you've only done one of them, right? When you've done enough of them, then whenever you look at them, they'll be solid green, right? So that's another thing. You don't need to scan any more that turn solid green. So here's some more resources. You scan that, there you go, and scan that, there you go. They then remain, resources are different, you don't have to do a percentage of those. They just, as soon as you've scanned one of them, then they stay solid, right? There's one of these animals. We were at 13%. If I get close enough. Oops, what's happening here? Why am I not running? There you go. Run, 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 run. Sprint, I should say. There you go. I've scanned it now. So now it's gone solid, but still only got 25% of those. So I think. So that's. It probably doesn't tell you that in the help, right? You've got to get close enough. And then the other thing that's worthwhile noting, right? Maybe not so much on the resources, but certainly on these plants. While you're close enough to it, if you press, no, it's not one of them. Have I done you? I think I've done you, haven't I? If you get close enough to these plants, there's one over there. That's what I'm talking about, right? So that's 25%. That's added there, 36%. These plants, a lot of these plants have got things you can pick, right? So you scan it first. If you press E again, you'll pick the thing that was on top of it, right? Like, you know, the bud or the flower, whatever it is. Now, the reason I'm doing that, I'm going to come out of the scanner for a moment and show you why I'm doing that. If you're doing, it's probably only important if you're doing achievement, right? But if you're doing the trophy achievement, then when you go into, what is it, B for status, right? Exploration, is it exploration or is it crafting? Crafting, right? So in crafting, that figure there, both of these figures, right, have to get up to 500, right? So organic resources, I just picked up that one flower bud, seed pod, whatever it was, and it went to 1. You've got to get that up to 500. And there are other ways to do it. But while you're surveying and you're walking past hundreds of plants that you're surveying, just pick it up as you go, right? And you will just, over time, that will get bigger and bigger and bigger, obviously. So that's worth doing. Oh, there you go. Do that once. Do it again to pick the flower bud, right? These things here, unknown, right? When you scan those, unexplained ecological feature, that is likely to be, I'm not saying it is, but it's likely to be one of those 3 traits. So if you look to the left there, that table with the 3 question marks, one in each bubble, circle, that's likely to be it. And I'm going to pause the video and run over there and we'll see what it is. So I haven't quite made it over there, but this is the point where this bug here, if I scan him, now there you go, 100% scanned, right? So I think about 8 of those you need to scan. So I've scanned enough of those, so now whenever you look at them, they're green. You know, oh, I don't need to scan those, right? You're only at a distance, you're only looking for the blue ones, right? Because you know those are the ones you need to scan. So over on my table, on the left hand side now, it says 1 of 6. So of the animals, I've found 100%, as in 8 of them. They're not all 8. Some of them are less than that, some of them are more than that. Yeah, don't need to look for those anymore. Now I've reached that unexplored ecological feature. I haven't scanned it yet. We'll see what happens when I scan it. If you get close enough to it, it'll start going green. And then when you scan it, no, right? Oh yes, it might be. So on the right, it's saying 1 of 2, right? So there are microbial community. You've got to find one more like this, right? And if you find one more like that, which could be that one over there, then it might come up as the traits. Let's scan that and see what happens. Yeah, there you go, right? So that is now one of the traits, right? And there will be 3 things like this. That's one of them. 2 more like this on the planet, and that's what you're looking for, right? And the way that you spot them is seeing those things in the distance, right? That's a structure. I know if I look at that, you can actually look in the map as well, right? So call up the map. The maps are great now. I've got more contours on there and detour stuff, right? Detail, right? I don't think that is anything, but there will be things to look out for, right? That could be, right? Those symbols are very likely to be one of these traits, right? So again, look out for that. So when you're, as I said earlier, right, have your weapon in your hand before you start the scanner up, right? Because some of these creatures, when you get close enough to them to scan them, they don't like it, right? These ones are alright. Yeah, but these things, look, you've got to get quite close before it goes green. There it is there. And I just managed to do it and get away, right? You don't always, that doesn't always happen. And if you did, you'd press your F and instantly, your gun should come up, right? But yeah, just be mindful that you've put your gun up first. Okay. This is something, unexplained geological feature, so we're going to go and look at that. Okay, so this is some more animals that might attack me. This is something. That water might be dangerous, anyway. Yeah, didn't like that, did it? So if we scan this, there we are. The melted glacier. Alright, so there was the second trait. Other than that, we're not getting very far on this. I was hoping to get close to completing one of the flora or fauna, and so far I've got 1 of 6. But I'll keep going because I want to show you what happens when you get near the end of doing that surveying. But let me keep going. So some of the things you might miss when you're surveying, right, is you got to survey these guys in the sky, right? I've done this one already. There's any others to see, but yeah, look up because there will be creatures to scan that are flying around. And here's a few more. There you go. You get close enough to them, they'll all go to 100%. But the other thing that people might not realise, here's some dangerous things. Woke him up, but managed, I think, to get away. The sea. You just wouldn't imagine that they're in the sea. But look, there's something interesting as well. This area now, once I scanned that crab, or maybe it was before, is saying this area that we're in, you can't find any more. So there might not be anything in the sea actually. So have a look. Because not every planet has them in the sea. But that is something to look out for, right? Scroll up and down the sea and see if any fish appear. So we'll try some sandy desert. Now, when we look, the table where it said earlier, biome complete, now that's gone, right? So we've still got the same number of animals to find. 5 more animals, 5 more plants, 3 more resources. But we're clear to carry on searching in this area. And there will be more that we can find. Just to reiterate this point, biome complete, okay? So if you look at the table there, it's saying you won't find, even though you've got 1 more to find, you won't find any more animals in this biome. You can find 3 more plants, because we're only 2 of 5, but you won't find any more animals, right? So they will all the animals in this space will all turn out green like that, because you're at 100%. And the space we're in, I think, was this sort of area, right? Which is, yeah, 88% desert coast, right? So pick somewhere else, right? Okay, I think I've got my last flora. There you go. Now it says biome complete, right? So no point looking for any more flora. Well, obviously, because we found everything anyway, right? For animals. One last pesky animal. Right, I am done. 100%. And the last animal to find was this pack trampmore. So just a recap, you know that you got to get close enough to these things. Make sure you got your gun. If I press F now, my gun instantly comes up, right? You've got to get close enough to survey these things. The biome complete bit is telling you that when you look at a planet from above, you've got to pick different areas to search in. So frozen, everything should come up as 100% now, right? Because I'm surveyed, right? But frozen dunes is 1, dunes. This comes up as desert. That's also desert. That's also ocean. There you go. Sandy desert coast, right? So coast is different to the sandy desert, and then the sandy desert with a coast, and they're different, right? Remember, you can survey the ocean, right? So scan across the ocean to see if there's anything in it, and the skies, right? The traits, when you're on the planet and you've got your scanner up, I can get there. Press G to bring up the surface map, because on there will be these images that help you find the traits, right? That's it. I say, don't do Iridani 3, very challenging, but good luck.